All right, y'all, we are on. All right. Make sure my mic is good. Gotta make sure the mic is good. All right, y'all, we are on. All right, so back with some Monday talk. Okay, get started in a few minutes, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes. We get started. Cedric, C, what's going on, man? I'm gonna go back and talk about some fights this past weekend and Thursday, since I've been away since last Thursday. I'm going to go back and talk about Ilima-Lei Macfarlane and her performance against Juliana Velasquez, what y'all thought about that. And I was just listening to Macfarlane, her post-fight interview. So we can discuss that too. She said some interesting things in it. I'm going to go down the interview and kind of read some key points from Macfarlane. Oh yeah, everything good, man. Oh yeah, salute Marcus Bell. What's going on? Yeah, we'll talk about Velasquez, her performance, and Macfarlane, her interview, and then kind of go in on who's next for Velasquez as well. Like, what y'all thought of her performance as a fighter, as the challenger that was supposed to go in and make a big statement. Did y'all like the fight or not? We'll talk about that. And Tecia Torres and Sam Hughes. My thoughts on Sam Hughes not coming out for the second round after suffering some eye damage. I know some people, they said some, different people. I could see like DC had his thoughts about her not answering the bell. So I want to talk about that, of course. And Dern and Jandiroba. Dern and Jandiroba, that was a good fight, man. I didn't know it was going to turn into like a striking match like that, but it was good. It was a good fight. I just feel like the wrong person got the decision, but you know how that goes, man. So Marcus said he thinks that the fight was lackluster between Macfarlane and Velasquez. Okay. I kind of expected it to be that way. Championship fights. I mean, when you get top level fighters, sometimes it usually turns into like a boring fight. Sometimes, like a chess match. So 1 second. 1 second, we'll get started. Oh yeah, and I got I did my interview today too. I was busy today, man. I ain't really got too much sleep, but I got the interview with I did my interview with Josette Cotton today. I did that this afternoon, a few hours ago, about 4 hours ago. So I'm gonna put that out tomorrow. Probably run it on live, maybe around like 5 o'clock. They would do like 5 o'clock, 5:30. Yeah, Josette Cotton. She seemed like she ready, yo. She seemed like she ready for this rematch with Kayla Harrison on on the 17th. So yeah, I'll put that out for y'all tomorrow. But yeah, man, let's get started. Let's talk about this Juliana Velasquez, Ilima-Lei Macfarlane fight. Yeah, I watched it fight night. I was watching it fight night. I was going to do my post-fight thoughts on it Friday, but I was just too busy, man. I just had too much going on, so I didn't have time to do that. But overall, my thoughts of the performance from both fighters, it pretty much went like I said it would go in my prediction. I felt like fights on this level usually turn into chess matches. They're usually like a high-skilled chess match where neither fighter is really going to take a crazy chance. Even though Juliana Velasquez did have the size, the power, the height, the striking advantage, and everything, like, she still didn't take a full-on chance in there. And like, I wanted to see her do that. I wanted to see her go in there and try to close the show because the opportunity was there. But she just played it safe, fought a striking match on the back foot, landed in singles. The only question I have is why did she take her foot off the gas in the 4th round? Because first round, she pretty much got the respect of Macfarlane right away. Velasquez got the respect right away just off of her size and her pressure. She was able to measure the distance well, keep Macfarlane on the outside. Macfarlane didn't really have a answer on how to get on the inside and close that distance because she was too weary of the power. And Velasquez didn't really let her hands go. She maybe landed maybe a few left hands and a couple body kicks, and they got the respect of Macfarlane. So to me, Velasquez, she could have just followed up, landed in sequence, and really busted Macfarlane up early on. She could have landed some good punches and probably got Macfarlane out of there in the 2nd or 3rd round, in my opinion. She just needed to put it together, but she took too many rounds where she was just kind of fighting too cautious. She didn't really present Macfarlane didn't really present a big problem to Velasquez, in my opinion. Going into the 2nd round, Velasquez, she picked it up a little bit more. She started timing Macfarlane. Every time Macfarlane would try to come in, she cracked her with the left hand or with the check right hook. In the 3rd round, she was doing the same thing. 3rd round, I thought it was almost over, because Macfarlane went in for that single leg, and she just started hitting her. She started scraping her with big shots, and then opened up a cut on the brow. Finished the round off with a big flying knee. So I was like, okay, she's damaged goods now. You got to take her out. And that was part of my prediction too. I said this fight's probably going to get stopped in the 4th or 5th round. So I'm looking for the stoppage in the 4th round. By the 4th round, I'm thinking that Velasquez is going to turn it up now. She's opened her up. She's pot shotting now. She's got her leaking from the nose. She's going to go in there and take her out. But instead, she takes her foot off the gas and halfway through the round, lets Macfarlane come back, get a takedown, and take the round on the judges' scorecards. Now, I think, if I remember correct, the judges have it up for Macfarlane, which I thought was crazy. Macfarlane didn't win any round up until round 4. I think Velasquez was really winning. Basically, she didn't dominate the first 3 rounds, but she did enough to win all 3 rounds. She definitely secured the rounds, but the 4th round, I think she kind of took off. She took her foot off the gas, let Macfarlane get on top of her, which I thought was crazy. I thought she had the strength to, fend off the takedown and just reverse it, but she let Macfarlane back in the fight. So the 4th round I did give to Macfarlane. The 5th round, Macfarlane tried to come on strong. She tried to close that distance. She knew it was over. She had to go in there and try to finish this, take it to the ground. And she wasn't able to do it. Velasquez, got some strikes in the guard. Macfarlane was trying for that submission. It was a little too late. That was the first time she got on her back and tried for a triangle, but she just couldn't get it done. So Velasquez had so many moments in this fight, many opportunities to make a big statement and finish it, but she just took her foot off the gas. I think she won it 4 rounds to 1, but I can see why some fans were disappointed in it. But like I said, I felt it was going to go that way. I can see where the disappointment comes in because, much like myself, I saw openings. You know, I saw the opportunities. I mean, if you're this big and you're this strong and you're this powerful, you got to get the fighter out of there. I mean, we see, you know, Valentina's how tall is Valentina compared to Macfarlane? You know, she's not as tall as Macfarlane, but she still goes in there and showcases her strength, and she'll get a fighter out of there. You know, she'll get her opponent out of there. She's not going to try to stretch it out, make 5 rounds of work for herself. You know, she'll go in there, expose your weakness, and if it's right there, she'll take it. Whereas this fight here, I thought it was just too cautious. I mean, leading up to this fight, you know, Velasquez, she was, you know, always going in there making a statement, you know, dominating even in a decision. But this one, she took her foot off the gas in that last couple of rounds. So yeah, you look at Valentina, you know, somebody who's 5'5", 125 pounds. Somebody like Juliana Velasquez making flyweight. She come in there damn near looking like a featherweight. I thought she would have went in there and just started, you know, putting solid pressure on the champion. But she fought a cautious fight. I guess she just wanted to stay on the back foot and make sure she could secure it. But she had the power to secure it just by scoring a knockout, in my opinion. Yeah, she's an inch taller. Yeah, she's an inch taller than Valentina, but she just seems so much bigger. You know, her frame is so much bigger. So I think somebody like her would go ahead and try to impose that size on Ilima-Lei Macfarlane. That would have been smart. But Ilima-Lei Macfarlane, to me, just showcased that there were so many things she's got to work on. You know, we all give her credit for her grappling and her wrestling, but how she gets her opponents to the ground, that's what it comes down to. You know, she still doesn't know how to go in there and utilize her striking to the best of her ability. You know, she couldn't go in there, land good punches, time the challenger, and eventually get her down. You know, she was on the back foot, respecting Velasquez too much. And by the time she tried to pick it up, it was the fourth round. It was the fourth round, you know. So I just think that when you see somebody like Velasquez who has that size and that reach, you just got to go for broke. You know, you got to close that distance early, like she did in the 5th round. You got to close that distance early and go for that. You know, just go for broke. You know, if you feel like you're outgunned already and you don't have the tools, which you could kind of see it in her demeanor, in her body language, you just got to go ahead and put it all on the line, which leads to this post-fight interview. I don't know if y'all seen the post-fight interview. You know, I was watching it. It went on into Friday morning. I was watching it Friday morning before I crashed out. And Ilima-Lei Macfarlane just said some interesting things. I know some people might think it's questionable, but it kind of makes you think of what goes on in the heart of some of these champions, you know, especially undefeated champions. You know, that kind of makes me, it kind of explains a little bit more to me on why some of these fighters really need to stay undefeated, because it's almost like a complex. Like, everything's been given to them for so long that they feel like if one blemish pops up on their record, it might be the end of the world, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, being undefeated for so long and able to fight competition that's suited for you, it can just kind of put you in a certain place. Whereas champions who fought their way up and fought their hardest and went through the blood, and you know, they went through the cuts early on in their career, they tend to have a better set mindset for fighting, if that makes sense. You know, some of these champions who fight undefeated for their whole career and then they take that loss at the top, it's almost like a deal crusher where they want to retire. They just want to give it up, or they think of it as like a relief, which to me, you know, makes me see them in a little bit of a different light, you know, comparing them to some of the other warriors who, you know, knew how to fight through the trenches. You know, they knew how to fight through the trenches and just say, hey, it's just another day, I'll come back stronger. Because her post-fight interview, she didn't really say anything about a rematch, and she didn't really say anything about necessarily saying I'll be back or I'll be back stronger. Maybe I missed that. Maybe y'all could tell me. Got in the chat. What's going on, Lolita? What's going on, Gary? I'll answer your question in a minute, Lolita. You know, when I jump to that fight. Colton, what's going on? F8, what's going on? Good evening. Colton said Macfarlane went into that fight knowing she was going to lose her belt. Yeah, it was crazy, man, because the champion was the underdog big time in this fight. You know, the champion was the underdog. Like, wow, I couldn't really believe it, especially like whenever she's seen as this, you know, the favorite. You know, a lot of people, they just tend to like Ilima Macfarlane. You know, even of course, the casual fans that just like her look, they just want to roll with her. So I thought it would kind of went that way, but nah, man, I guess the bet odds were, you know, the fighters who were putting their bets on, they were thinking smarter though. Colton said Ilima has been looking for a way out for a while now. She's been able to pull rabbits out the hat, but I don't think she was ever truly comfortable being a champion. Yeah, you know, she's defended her title 4 times. And if you go back and look at the competition, it was never on a level of a Velasquez. That's why I was like, when Velasquez came through back in January, February, she got Bruna Ellen out of there. You know, she fought Laura. And then when she destroyed Christina Williams, I was like, okay, this girl got to be champion. Like, she's dominating common opponents, and she's dominating challengers the way the champion's not doing it, if that makes sense. Like, she's really showcasing a skill set in there that's even higher than the champion. I already knew like then that she had the skill set to even surpass the champion. You know, because Ilima Lei has never had to really rise to the occasion with some of the fighters that she's been fighting in the flyweight division, you know. But yeah, let's look at this post-fight interview. What was it? Let's see. Let's go through the post-fight interview a little bit here, because while I pull this post-fight interview, let me just check the chat real quick. Let's see. Colton. Oh yeah, I read that. Stamina, what's going on, man? Ernest, what's going on? Ernest said, I couldn't sleep that much either last night. I had my virtual commencement on Morehouse College Sunday morning, and I've been giddy since. Yeah, I've been up since yesterday. I mean, I took like a power nap today, but I had to get back up and do that Josette Cotton interview a few hours ago. Then I took like a half-hour nap, got my behind back up, recorded some videos, and jumped on here with y'all. Yeah, just for y'all that's coming in, Robert Henry, what's going on, man? I'm gonna be putting the interview up tomorrow. I just gotta edit it, and then I'll put the Josette Cotton interview up probably like around 5:30 for y'all that just came in. Ilima's interviews before this fight were so suspect. She said she was scared of Velasquez's look in her eyes, and she even mentioned that she could get knocked out by her in the first round. And when she said she would be okay with Liz Carmouche taking the belt from a year ago. Yeah, I remember that, man. Like, that was like the first sign, because after Liz Carmouche, you know, had battled, or, you know, went to 5 rounds with Valentina, you know, and then she got canned and went over to Bellator, Ilima Lei, she was already kind of like, oh, the only person I give this belt up to, I'll let Liz Carmouche take it. I was like, huh? Who says that? You know, I was like, yeah, that seemed kind of weird. I was like, I don't see a champion saying I'm gonna give my belt up to anybody, you know. So yeah, that was one of the earliest signs. I remember that. Yeah, that was crazy. All right, so post-fight interview. Here's some highlights from what Ilima Lei had to say. She said, I don't think I've ever bled like this before, or broken my nose, or been cut open. So yeah, this is cool. I mean, honestly, this is in a really weird way. This is kind of always what I felt I needed in my career. All right. What else did she say? So she feels like this was something she needed. A loss was something that she needed. I personally, you know, just going off of the type of fighter she was, like her character and her personality, like, I don't understand why it would be a fight or a loss like this would be something that she needed. It wasn't like Ronda Rousey deal. Ronda Rousey was a fighter that was so cocky that needed to be humble. I don't really see Ilima-Lei Macfarlane need to be humble just because she wasn't really that type of get him type of fighter that was heartless and ruthless, like anything like that. I don't think she was that type of fighter, so I don't really understand why she would say something like that, like, oh, I needed my nose broken, or I needed to be cut. You don't really need that. I mean, if you can go through your career and withstand it, I mean, more power to you, but I just really don't understand why she says she feels like she needs to be cut. I mean, what's going on in training? You never been cut in training before? Like, had a nose broke, had a bone broken in sparring or anything like that? That's just weird. Okay. I mean, here's the part where I was really questioning it, man, because she was like, you can't just always keep winning and excelling. You have to hit some type of plateau or something. So I'm actually really happy this happened. I'm like relieved that, okay, this is what it feels like to lose. See, that's another thing. Like, if your mindset is not really set on understanding what a champion is, then you really don't need to be champion. You really don't need the belt. Like, that's no knock. I mean, she's just saying that right there. Like, to say you can't always just keep winning and excelling, I mean, you can. I mean, you can face a few bumps in the road, but to prevent like a straight, but to prevent straight up defeat, you do things early on to prevent that. So there's fighters that like I always go back to Floyd Mayweather. He's a guy that keeps winning and keeps excelling. You don't necessarily need to lose to understand what you need to do better. Just go back and look at your tapes. Go back and look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, do I like doing this? Like, who do I really want to challenge myself against? And just to say you have to hit some type of plateau. Usually if you hit like a plateau, first of all, champions that hit plateaus, they move on to the next thing. They move on to the big thing. They usually hit a plateau when they've accomplished everything, not whenever they've feel like it's time to lose. Like Floyd Mayweather, he said, I hit a plateau, time for me to lose. You know what I mean? You never heard Floyd Mayweather say something like that. You never heard Amanda Nunes say something like that where, okay, I'm tired of being a bantamweight, time to take a L, get rid of this belt and relieve myself. No, not like that. You go on to the next thing if you really have the heart of a champion. If you got the heart of a champion, you're supposed to move on and say, let me find out what it is I need to make better about myself. And like I said, I'm just going off of what she's saying. I don't know her personally, and I'm not trying to say she needs to do this, but I'm just reading it off of I'm basing it off of what she's saying in this interview, because I'm not in her shoes. So, and during the interview, I remember too, like she kind of she kind of got choked up too. She got emotional. Then she said, "These are tears of relief. It's hard being the champ. What does it say? It's hard being the champion. Is hard." Whoever writes these, it's not me reading. I'm trying to read the grammar the way these people are writing here, man. So bear with me. It's hard. Being the champion is hard. They need to put commas in, okay? It's hard. Being the champion is hard. It's hard being it for so long. So I'm really grateful for this experience to this moment. Yeah, so to me, it just sounded like too much pressure for her, and for somebody that didn't have the best competition, yeah, it definitely sounds like she needed to get rid of the belt. She didn't need it anymore because she just wasn't ready. As soon as the competition, just skyrocketed past her skill set, it was like, oh man, I'm relieved. Like if fighting's going to be like this against A-level competition, I got to go. That's what it kind of sounds like. It kind of sounds like that type of situation. Let me go back to the chat here. Let's see. Missed a bunch of stuff here. Okay. Even if nothing else, Alima's defense to Liz didn't sit well with me at all. After the 19th, there's no UFC planned events for like 28 days. I wonder would there be anything happening in the WMMA in between that time. Maybe like the lesser organizations. Ernest Richardson, Kamo, did you see Suarez more or less sounding like she's healthy enough to come back? I heard she wanted to come back next year. F8, what's going on? I'm not impressed with Velasquez. She only looks good because she's a featherweight who fights strawweights and flyweights. She is a big girl. But she's got skill set though. She definitely got skill set. I wasn't like full on blown away by her performance in this fight, but she's definitely got skill set to dominate the division. You know, and she doesn't dominate like off of size alone. You know, she's using a lot of different things. You know, she's using her reach, timing, a little bit of everything. She's not really that physical. Stammer says crazy talk. Coach, what's going on? Salute, WMMA Universe, man. Colton Velasquez could have really put on a display against Alima, but she was so cautious and safe to a fault. Yeah, I agree. The opportunity was there. Velasquez is a talented fighter. She didn't look as smooth and aggressive as she had in other fights, but I don't think she isn't there with size and no actual skills. Stammer said there's a difference between preparing oneself for adversity rather than resigning oneself to accepting an inevitable loss. I think Alima not having many fights in total affected her self-image as a champion. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, if you know you're going to have a challenge, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you got the heart of a champion, you're going to say it's time to step the game up. It's time to prepare. You know, it's time to prepare for the worst, not prepare for a loss. Big difference, man. Prepare for the worst. Don't prepare for a loss. Like, if you think of it as like you going outside, okay, you know it's going to be a thunderstorm, or you know it's going to be heavy rain coming. It's not necessarily coming, but it's in the forecast. You go ahead and dress for that weather, you know, so you're preparing for it. Hurricane coming. The worse it gets. Hurricane coming. You start boarding your windows up. Go ahead and trim some limbs down around your house so they don't fall on your roof. You know, take care of that before it gets there. You know, you always prepare for the worst. Not necessarily saying, oh, I already lost, or like admit defeat. So what else did she say here? Okay, so while she was looking forward to having more flexibility, 3-round fights, and then taking a break, she also noted that she was game for the idea of a flyweight Grand Prix. For sure. If it happens, I think it could happen regardless of who the champion is. The flyweight division is really sick, and people would love to see a tournament. I mean, what do y'all think about that? I don't really think that. Do you think the flyweight division of Bellator needs a tournament? I mean, it seems like everybody was getting matched up right. I mean, there's only one fight right now that really needs to be made, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute. I don't really know about a flyweight tournament. I mean, for Alima Lay, I feel like she just needs to really go back, reassess some things, and say, okay, is this what I want to do? You know, am I preparing myself for the best out there? Cedric, she just wasn't motivated to me, and she was tired of doing 5-round camps. You know that. See, whenever people say stuff like that, that kind of, well, not you, Cedric. I'm talking about like the fighter. You know, like when they don't come in motivated. When fighters do stuff like that, it just kind of disappoints you, because there's a lot of other young fighters and other undiscovered talent that don't get the opportunities, that deserve the opportunities that she has. You know what I mean? Like some other fighters out here who are not getting the shine because they don't have the look. You know, they would gladly take that opportunity. They wouldn't be getting tired of 5-round camps or training or cutting weight. They would jump at that opportunity. So yeah, just going back and looking at some of the things she's saying here, it definitely sounds like she needs to take a little while off from fighting combat sports. I don't even think she needs to worry about a tournament right now, um, because it's not going back down. It's not going down to 3 rounds. That's not going to help her. That's not going to help her build a skill set. That's going to have to be something that she has to kind of take a break from, go back and see where she is mentally. Very similar to Rose Namajunas. Rose Namajunas, when she faced that shocking loss to Jessica Andrade, she was done. She said, I didn't know if I wanted to come back or not. She took a good year off, right? Year and some change, and just said it's time to, rethink things. So just separate yourself from the sport for a while. But for me, some of the things she's saying right now don't really sound like a fighter that wants to fully excel. And that's all good. If that's you, that's you. At least you were able to find that out now. And maybe that's what she means by relief. She just doesn't want to say yet, but be in relief that this is the level that she can compete at, and she can go no higher. So she's probably cool with Juliana being title holder now. Stamina said, carrying the weight of a whole nation / people on one's shoulders can either lift or crush a person to expectation. Is something that's pretty difficult to prep with, since it's never just one thing. And I think that's what she kind of prepares for a little too much, man. Like worrying about what everybody else thinks, To me, carrying the weight, that's something you kind of got to take off your shoulders, because those people aren't going to be there whenever you're in a wheelchair. If you get crippled in a fight, they're not going to be for you there. They're not going to ride with you there. So why carry that weight now? That's always been my mindset. You go in there as an individual, you get beat down as an individual, you raise your hand in victory as an individual, and you face defeat as an individual. Just like when you go broke in boxing or MMA, you suffer. Well, if you have a family, y'all suffer together, but you suffer that defeat. But when it comes down to a personal injury, you suffer that as an individual. So I think some fighters, they got to stop trying to carry a whole nation on their back. I know they want to represent their country and everything, but you can't really carry a whole nation on your back, because are they going to be there for you whenever you lose? And that's always the question, man. Let's see. F8 said Macfarlane will be back. Cedric C, exactly, on a main event Bellator card on top of that, and they barely do that, let alone MMA in general. Notice she didn't say she wanted the belt back. She said she enjoyed the experience or something like that. Yeah, she definitely don't sound like she wants it back right now, because I didn't hear anything about it. No rematch talk was in there. No rematch talk. So moving forward from here, I think this was just kind of like one of them things, where you sift out the weak, and the strong is the one standing. It happens sometimes. Like I said, she wasn't like a fighter to me that I wanted to see get humbled or anything like that, because she was never on that type. She was never on that type of Ronda Rousey villain type thing. So she was just a little bit more timid as a champion, in my opinion. And just when it started to get really hot in there, she couldn't withstand the heat. As for Juliana Velasquez, my thoughts on her, man, like, I still think she's a very smart fighter, but I hope this is not going to be like a common thing with her now moving forward, now that she holds the belt, where she's going to be overly cautious or taking her foot off the gas. Because pushing forward from here, the fight everybody wants to see, and the person that I said would be next in line for the title shot would be Dynamite Denise Killholz. And that's going to be a good fight. I think Dynamite has a skill set that's going to make for an explosive fight. It's going to be more so explosive than this one. I think even if Juliana wants to fight on the back foot, or let's say if Keelholtz wanted to fight on the back foot, somebody's going to want to initiate contact here, and I think it's going to be explosive. Kickboxing champion, power in both hands, fast, explosive, ground game. She has a little of everything too, Denise Keelholtz. Let's just match them up real quick. So you got the 5'6", very strong, large flyweight, in my opinion, in Juliana Velasquez. But like I said, she makes the weight, so I'm not going to judge her. I'm not going to call her a weight bully or anything like that. She's just a tall, long fighter, and she can make the weight. 5'5". Then you got Denise Keelholtz, who's 5'3", with a 66-inch reach advantage. That's going to be interesting, man. Getting past that 3-inch height advantage, getting on the inside. I want to see if she can get on the inside and get respect more so than Macfarlane was able to. Yeah, because Denise, she's going to make it an exciting fight. She's a fast starter. So Juliana's going to have to switch gears early on. Juliana's used to fighting at her pace. I remember somebody in the chat said, what did they say? They said that Juliana is not going to dictate the pace because she's not the champion against Macfarlane. I was like, what are you talking about? I can't remember who it was, but they said that she can't dictate the pace because she's not a champion. I was like, that don't make a difference. I was like, yo, we're talking about Juliana. We're talking about a much better striker, a bigger, stronger fighter. She's going to go in there and dictate the pace just like she does in every fight. She's going to get the respect because she wants the belt. Let's see. I'm just checking the chat here. Colton, why does he never want to pick favorites? Who doesn't want to pick favorites? Lolita, Gary Ball, in my opinion, if Verna had finished on top, she would have won. Yeah, we'll talk about that fight in a minute. F8, I think a good striker with KO power will give Velasquez problems. Denise Keelholtz, yeah, I think so. I think that Keelholtz, her speed, I think her speed and definitely her overall kickboxing background is really going to come into play in this fight, and it's going to offset some of the things that Juliana Velasquez likes to do. She's gonna be offset in this fight. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. As you know, Denise Keelholtz, she did her recent renewal contract with Bellator. I don't know how many fights it is right now, but yeah, she's done a couple more fights with Bellator. So maybe her next fight will be the championship fight to open up 2021. That would be solid. I think she's ready for it. So that's a fight I want to see. Too early to call right now. I like Denise Keelholtz, so the girl's got fire to her. She puts on exciting fights. She'll go in there and take the chance. I think Keelholtz has learned better fight IQ since she got guillotined for getting too aggressive against Arteaga. Yeah, I think so too. I think she's much more controlled pressure and doesn't come running in like that again. Because Arteaga, she's just a handful for anybody. Arteaga's gave some tough fights out there. Some of the better contenders out there, tough fights. FA, people underestimate Keelholtz because she looks like an atom weight. I don't really think she looks like an atom weight. I think her frame, is like a straw weight. She's just, shorter. Yeah, 5'3", but the frame does look like a straw weight or flyweight, excuse me. Cedric sees Valerie Late is still too early to say, will she be good? Yeah, I mean, still got, she's still got work to do. She's still got work to do on getting up there. I mean, she's scoring some knockouts. She knocked the last girl out, so just needs to keep on graduating. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Velasquez Keelholtz next. Hopefully that fight happens in early 2021. All right, real quick. Tisha Torres and Sam Hughes. Shout out to Sam Hughes. Sam Hughes, like I said, she's cool. Took the fight on 5 days notice. Went in here, made her UFC debut against a very highly skilled, evolving veteran in Tisha Torres. I know some of y'all might disagree, but I feel like Tisha Torres is improving. Now, was she elite status after a 4-fight losing streak? No. She lost 4 in a row, but she's still trying to get better. And I mean, she looked good against this type of competition, so it's still too early to say if she is elite. I'm not saying that. So yeah, anyways, Tisha Torres originally was supposed to face Angela Hill, which would have been a better fight. It would have been a lot more competitive. But as you know, once again, COVID does its thing, and Sam Hughes takes the fight. You know, she takes the fight, and I know, just like everybody else, you know, I didn't go in this one with a pick, but I knew that Tisha Torres just had too much experience. You know, after seeing what she did to Brianna Van Buren, I knew that she was going to go into this fight and just utilize everything, utilize everything from her hands to her feet. I mean, she could do no wrong in this fight. I mean, Tisha Torres, the thing I like about Tisha right now too is like she's not just fighting off the back foot like she did in her early career, because before she was just like a points fighter. Honestly, y'all, she was a points fighter. I mean, this is her first stoppage, right? This is her first stoppage. Let me see. Yeah, this is her first stoppage win because, yeah, she has a submission win over Juliana Lima. But, yeah, this is her first actual stoppage win, which still wasn't even one of her punches. So, going in here against a younger, inexperienced fighter, she was able to go in there, just put punches together, be offensive, good body kicks, uppercuts, Superman punch. All of this was coming at Sam Hughes in the first round. All of this was coming at her in the first round. So this is another thing you got to factor in about why the stoppage happened. So not only is she taking this beating, but physically, but you're also taking a mental beating. You're going in there thinking, wow, is this really worth taking 3 rounds of total domination, knowing I'm not prepared for this? You got to really think about that. You got to put yourself in that mindset of that fighter, like, oh wow, like I'm taking this beating here. I didn't know it was going to be like this. Sometimes fighters can be like that, but they'll continue to go on and on. But somewhere in that round, she caught a scratch or eye poke, or just punch to the eye. I don't know about y'all, but like at the end of the round, when the fight came back after a commercial, it was like it just cut right back into like the doctor waving it off, like, or the ref waving it off. Like, I didn't even get to hear the conversation on what type of damage happened. Was it an eye poke or was it a punch at the time? But I could see like the eye had some swelling under there. And whenever her corner did ask her, when I went back and looked, they said that, if you can't see, can you continue? And she was like, she couldn't see. So, they went on and stopped it. And at the same time, I think that it was a little bit of everything. It was like the overwhelming force that Tisha brought, and knowing that she didn't have any defense to block any of the onslaught that was coming at her, the barrage, and then getting hit in the eye like that. She thought about it. She's like, if I suffer this eye injury in the first round, imagine what's going to happen in the third round. So best thing for her to do was to pull out of the fight. Well, not pull out, quit. Let's look at the comment section. Colton says Sam Hughes got the hell out of there, and she should have. That was a mismatched fight. Yeah. The pace between Angela and Tisha would have been blistering. Yeah, I think that would have been a lot better. Last minute pairings should be expected to be somewhat lopsided, I reckon. You get what you get rather than what you need in those instances. Yeah, like sometimes that gets kind of annoying because it kind of damages. I know it's up to the fighter to say yes or no, but I think it's kind of mental damage on these fighters that could be something bigger when they take that last minute call. What was her name? Shakarova. Same thing with her. Like she took the fight. I know it was her choice, but maybe she could have been something a little bit better if she just said, okay, let me not take that fight. But I guess they just look at they look at the UFC picture. They just see the name and say UFC. Okay, this is my time to just get in there, whether I like my own chances or not. You know. But yeah, they're always going to be lopsided like that. Very rarely you're going to see like a upset, especially when you know the caliber of opponent. Like if you got somebody coming straight over from Invicta or LFA, then you know that, or like an organization where Shakarova came from, you know it's going to be like a one-sided fight for the vet in the UFC. Sometimes. But yeah, for Sam Hughes to quit, I said this in my post-fight discussion video I just uploaded. I felt like she did the right thing because, like I said, you only have two eyes in this world, in this lifetime, and you need them. You really do need them, especially if you're going to be a fighter. So there's no need to go in there, try to fight off a heart, and fight with one eye damaged, and then suffer permanent damage in the long run. Because let's say you go 3 rounds and that eye is damaged, and that's just the amount of time you needed for that eye to really suffer something even worse happening to you. You know, like detached retina, broken eye socket. Any of those things could have happened. You know, if she would have continued to fight. So for her situation, you know, hey, I'm taking this fight on 5-day notice. It's money. It's a chance to get to the UFC. I get to go in there with the veteran. Hey, it didn't go the way I wanted it to. You know, there's no need for me to take this type of punishment now. So, hey, I can just quit from here. I knew I was outgunned from the jump. So she just kind of went that way with it. So I don't really like take away from her. Like, it wasn't like she was like a champion that did that. You know, there's still levels to it where you can judge fighters like that, in my opinion. But definitely levels to the game, and we saw that, man. Tisha looked good in this fight. You know, there's really no way around that. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna give her credit for what she was able to do, but I really want to see her in there with a strong, competitive strawweight. And I'm thinking now, who would really be a good fight for Tisha Torres if she can't get the Angela Hill fight? Mackenzie Dern, I think that would be good. We'll talk about her here in a minute. Mackenzie Dern versus Tisha Torres, that would be interesting. That would be an interesting matchup. So let's see. Just want to match them up real quick. Let's see. I know Tisha Torres is 5'1". Let's see. Mackenzie Dern is what, 5'3" or 5'4"? They got 5'4". Yeah, she's 5'4". And just the way Mackenzie Dern is striking is, you know, still below average. I think that Tisha Torres would have some nice success in that fight. As long as she doesn't go to the ground, I can see Tisha going in there and putting some work in. Body kicks, blistering combinations. I could see her doing that to Mackenzie Dern. Just off of seeing how Dern looked in her most recent fight here. But yeah, as for Sam Hughes, man, I don't know. Like, I think Sam Hughes, after suffering that type of dominant loss just in 1 round, you know, you got to go back to the drawing board. You know, go back to LFA. You know, because if you can't beat Tisha, I don't see her beating too many of these other strawweights, and that's just honest truth. You know, you're not ready for that level yet until you can really get the work in that you need throughout these lower tier fights. You know, just continue to go back on that circuit and work, and then maybe come back to like the Contender Series. I think that would be like the smartest thing to do. But yeah, I'd like to see Tisha Torres and Mackenzie Dern next. That would be an interesting fight. All right, so I know y'all were asking me about this fight, what I think about this fight. Mackenzie Dern and Jandiroba. Who was that asked me that earlier? Who won? Oh yeah, Lolita. You asked who do I feel like won? Honestly, very, very close competitive fight to the end, but I think that Jandiroba, I think that Verna did enough to win the fight. I think Verna actually looked better with her hands and her footwork. I think that Mackenzie Dern still has a lot of work to do, and like I said, I posted a video about Mackenzie Dern, her striking, but in no way was I saying like she's like this elite striker now. No way. I'm congratulating her on her initiative. I'm congratulating Mackenzie Dern on the initiative that she took to step up her game. Now, I didn't say it was going to be polished in one fight. I'm not saying she was going to be ready for one fight, so that's still something she's got to, really put together, and, it's showcased in this fight. Now, what the commentators were seeing, I don't know. I gave Mackenzie Dern the first round. I gave her credit for that jab. She was landing some good flush jabs, but even then, Jandiroba cracked Mackenzie Dern with a good 1-2 in the opening minute. And she landed another good solid right hand at the end of the round, and even really defended well against Dern's takedowns. She was popping off a good jab of her own, staying on the back foot, really making Mackenzie Dern have to follow and try to cut off the octagon, which she was doing. She was doing that. She was cutting the octagon off, popping off some good jabs. And, from there, I can't lie. I gave Dern the first round. She looked good, and there, she landed the better strikes. But you could see the momentum that Verna was picking up. She ended it with a nice right hand, still bouncing around on her feet. Going into the second round, she started landing more in volume, popping the jab. Dern coming straight in with her head on the line. Verna just timing her well and landing these shots. And then catches her with a few good knees. She catches her with a knee followed by a right hand one time, lands another knee, busts her nose, busts open the nose on the bridge, so just in case y'all didn't know, her nose is broken, so gets her to the ground and is really just outworking her on top. She's got the blood in Dern's face. Dern's looking she was almost looking she looked a little worn out in my opinion, but I have to give her credit. Dern has heart. She did get back into the fight, but she looked a little bit lost there, on her feet after a while whenever Verna started getting into a groove. Verna bouncing around, using good lateral movement, and just throwing in volume. And that's why I don't understand about the judges. I feel like hold on for a second. Colton said, do the judges hear the commentators gushing over a fighter, and does that have an influence? I think it kind of does sometimes. I think it's just like whenever fans watch a fight at home, they're kind of going off of what the commentators are saying. They think that the commentators see everything, but I don't really listen to it. I just turn that junk down because I want to see the fight for myself. And after watching this fight, I was just chilling, watching this one, and I said, okay, Verna's taking her to school in the second round and on to the third round. Colton said, I feel like judges nowadays are scared as hell to give a bad score with all the backlash they've been getting from Dana in the post-fight conferences. To me, they give backlash when they just turn in BS decisions. Like if I gave the fight to Verna and Dana got mad, I'd be like, hell, what fight were you watching? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, come on, man. Like, just because a fighter is fighting on the back foot doesn't mean they're not doing anything. Like, I don't think they like the fact that she was moving around her back foot too much. Like, they were trying to give Dern every round whenever she landed one good hard shot, like one good single shot, and they would give her the round. I didn't think that was fair. So yeah, second round definitely was Verna's. Did some good damage on the ground. Like I said, broke the nose, landed in volume, good jabs, good timing. The third round was close in some spots. If you're going to be one of those judges that lands, judges just single shots here and there. But I think that the activity won the round for Verna, in my opinion. You know, pumping the jab out, 1-2. Dern did get in a few good body kicks. She would time Verna. When Verna would step in, she'd crack her to the body a few times, cracked her with a good right hand, hurt her, but couldn't finish her, which shows me that her striking still needs improvement, because after she hit Verna, she went in for a clinch. She went in for a clinch instead of trying to put a combination together. That would have been the time to really get her out of there. Like, if she would have put on an accurate combination, she probably would have got Verna out of there. But instead, she goes in for a clinch, and Verna defends off that clinch. I think they went down, and Verna popped back up, and then cracked her with another 1-2. She hit her with another 1-2, and I went back to really just outboxing it, and landed a good elbow too. Like, she switched it up on Dern. Like, she went from throwing a jab out, and then she threw an elbow out and caught Mackenzie Dern with the elbow. So these were nice shots that were landing. I just don't think the judges were really looking at these punches as being significant, which they were. Every time Dern would land like one single shot, like the body kick or the right hand, and they hear Joe Rogan or they hear DC, they hear one of them cheer. That's probably what they kind of go off of. Like, when they see the kick to the body lands and they go, oh, you know, when they go like that, they go, okay, Dern won that round. They're going by screams, you know what I mean? But I think that Dern did land some good shots. She had the opportunity to close the show, but to me, the activity, the better punches were from Verna. The balance of activity and quality punches. You know, she was landing in sequence, and then towards the end of the round, she pulled guard and went down, tried to submit Mackenzie Dern, which was a mistake, I think. You know, she should have just finished the round on her feet, because whenever she was on the bottom, I think the judges probably looked at Dern being on top and then factored that in too, to say, okay, I got to give her that round. She won. Okay, she hurt Verna one time, landed a couple good body kicks, and she's on top at the end of the round. So I think that was kind of how the judges were looking at it. Like, I felt Verna definitely won the fight in my eyes, but I knew that whenever she let too many moments slip, like letting Dern land a solid right hand and hurt her, and then when she went to the ground like that and pulled guard, I was like, oh, you lost the fight. By the judges' standards, I knew by judges' standards you lost the fight. Let's see, chat real quick. F8 said Mackenzie will never be strawweight champion as long as a Joanna, Weili, Rose, Jan, Tisha, Torres. Yeah, I mean, elite strikers are going to be her problem. You know, elite strikers are going to be her problem all day long. Robert Henry said Mackenzie Dern has to address her bad habits as a striker. They will eventually catch up to her. Yeah, I think in sparring, she really needs somebody to just really work her over. Every bad move she makes, she really needs to get rocked, like to the chin, like good. Like closing her eyes when she punches. Somebody just needs to time her real good and just crack her a couple good times. Stamina said judges don't hear anything, Colton. They're not even able to communicate with each other. I don't know about that, because I saw one judge talking to somebody one fight. Yeah, I saw a judge talking to somebody one fight. I can't remember. It was a UFC fight. One was looking away, and one was talking to somebody. Yeah, these judges, yeah. I think they cut corners on a lot of things, man. Ernest Richardson said Dern also cracked Verna in the last round on the chin that hurt her, and then decided to go for the single leg against the fence. Yeah, I don't get that, man. Like, they think off of one punch you can go for the takedown. I mean, if you hurt somebody with one hand, just go after them, you know, with punches. Yeah, you just got to punch them over and over until you stop them. Colton said, are people with lighter skin complexion at a disadvantage when it comes to decisions because the damage on them is much more visible? I don't think so. I mean, if that was a case, Mackenzie Dern would have lost, right? Yeah, stamina. Was it I think it was Andrea Lee and Lauren Murphy, right? If I remember correctly, I think that was Andrea Lee and Lauren Murphy fight. I was thinking on that. I think it was Lauren Murphy and Andrea Lee. But yeah, Colt, I don't think like lighter skinned people are at a disadvantage. If anything, they'll be an added advantage. I'm just saying, they'll be added advantage. But yeah, because Dern had the mark on the nose. She had the broken nose, so she looked the more damaged. I mean, Verna did have the swollen eye, but that came from an eye poke. She did have the eye poke, injury, so that's why her eye was swollen. So yeah, yeah, not all of it is skin related. You just can't go off of looking at the. Right, right, Gary Baldwin. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like Mackenzie Dern would have lost this fight. Claudia would have lost that fight against Angela Hill, and Michelle Waterson would have lost to Angela Hill. You know, she would have lost that fight if we were talking light skin. But I think, man, like overall, from looking at both of these fighters, Verna, I mean, she probably is just Verna's probably one of those fighters that a lot of people weren't paying attention to on the low. I mean, I follow her on the IG, but as far as like her striking, I think that people were just underestimating it. Even myself, I felt like, okay, if Dern comes in here and showcases power, she's going to be able to dominate. I thought she was going in there to be able to dominate, but I think Verna has underestimated ability, man. Oh, who's starting trouble with stamina? I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't see anything. TJ who? I don't see nothing. Somebody starting trouble? I don't see nothing. I don't see anything. Last comment was Gary Baldwin. Yeah, I think off of what I'm seeing with these two fighters, Mackenzie Dern, she has a lot of bad habits that kind of prevent her from excelling as a striker. So it's really got to go. She really got to go back to the drawing board. But from what I've seen from Verna, Verna's got a lot of natural ability. Verna was bouncing on her feet, moving side to side. Maybe she could be a little bit less predictable with the jab because she kind of shouts. She kind of lets off yeah, I know stamina. I'm just joking. Yeah, she kind of pops that jab off like she'll kind of shout. She'll kind of like not really like Holly Holm, but I guess when she gets tired, she kind of makes noise when she's popping the jab off. But I think she can improve a little bit. I think she'll improve a little bit faster. I think she'll improve a little bit faster than Mackenzie Dern. Genesis, what's going on? Combo, I love you, boo. Love you too, Genesis. Colton, get out of here, Genesis. No, she can stay. Stamina. Yeah, you said all in good fun. Yeah, I'm messing with her. I gotta mess with her. Cause TJ coming up in here. Hope y'all doing good, Genesis. Hope everything good. Ernest, Verna, and Kanako, and Dern versus Suarez. Suarez quietly has some stinging leg kicks. Man, that would be a good first fight back for Suarez, but I think Suarez would put the work on Dern. Man, that would be a good fight. Verna and Kanako, that would be good. I think Kanako, her hand speed is a little bit better than Verna's. Well, I ain't gonna say a little bit, it is better. Her hand speed is better, but sometimes these fights where you have like wrestlers turn grapplers or vice versa, it's hard to call it, man. But it is a good matchup. I want to see Mackenzie Dern and Tisha Torres fight though. CJ said Dern is highly overrated. Verna got robbed. She did. She did. I think she did enough to win the fight, man. Verna went in there, put the hands on Mackenzie Dern, and just showed everybody else that was doubting her that she had the hand speed, she had the boxing skills, she had the footwork, natural ability too. It was natural. Like I didn't really see like any mess ups in what she was doing. It was flowing naturally. So I think if she gets together with a good striking coach, she'll improve fast. She'll improve really fast. Verna. That's Verna I'm talking about. Robert said they better not give Dern an easy fight after this. No, man. Like the strawweight division, we got too much talent in there. You gotta give it to her. You gotta give her somebody tough. Stamus, I don't think people even overrate Dern anymore. A lot of that energy dissipated with her loss for how Hanley Rivas beat her. Yeah, I think a lot of your real fans, they don't overrate her, but shoot, DC and not DC, Joe Rogan, shoot, he was overrating her like a mug, boy. He was overrating her though. He was in there talking like her jab was on point with Ali or something. She was in there like, yo, she killing it. Everything she would throw, he would kind of do his little scream. Kanako, Gary said Kanako is better than Dern. Yeah, I think Kanako is much more well-rounded. Yeah, Kanako, her hand game is on point. She's a wrestler, but her hands is on point. Much more fluid. Colton, how do you think Clarissa fares in her first few matches in MMA? I think she will be fine. It depends, man. It really depends on how they move her. It really depends on how they move Clarissa right now. That's something I'll probably have to talk about again. I think in her first few matches, they'll probably give her some opponents that she can look good against, and that can give her some good practice. But I'm gonna have to go in there with the mind state for real that a loss is gonna come quicker than it will in boxing. Definitely not saying I want her to lose. I like Clarissa, but yeah, I'm just saying like your mind state's got to be open for everything. Mentally and physically, what you training for. Cedric said Dern is trash. Nah, she ain't trash, man. She ain't trash. Ernest said Dern versus Esparza or Kanako. The smart grapplers that have blanket side control that won't have a brain fart like random ciphers. Yeah, I think Esparza could beat Dern. Gary said Dern versus Cyphers too. Shoot, they better not make that fight. It better not make. Well, they can't because she's out of there now. So, Genesis said if it's not broke, don't fix it. Yeah. People always trying to fix shit that ain't broke. Rogan overrates someone every damn time he touches the mic. I pay that no mind anymore. His commentary has been abysmal this year. This year and the year before that, bro. That junk is like, come on, man. TJ said I want Esparza put to sleep. Man, I ain't got no problem with Esparza. I mean, I want her to fight Amanda Rivas, so I do want to see her. I want to see her in that fight, or I want to see her fight Joanna. I want to see those two fights. So if she don't give us that fight by sometime next year, then I'll probably be a little disappointed in her. I know as far as a beat Claudia, I know that much. But yeah, before I finish, let me see. Let me read these questions. Yeah, well, my last thought I was gonna say about Dern and Jandiroba. Yeah, Jandiroba, man. I think Jandiroba, like Verna, like her style wise, was kind of similar to Angela Hill in this fight. I think that she's got to be more aggressive. Fighters like her and like Angela Hill, they're not gonna get decisions. Unless you do something amazing in there throughout 3 rounds. You got to go in there and sit down on your punches and close the show. Verna and Angela Hill, that's what I'm saying. These type of fighters, they got to go in there, make a statement. They got to sit down on the shot. They can't just fight off the back foot. They got to fight in the pocket. They got to come forward, or they got to go for what they know. Verna's case, she got to take it to the ground. She got to take it to the ground, and make it a grappling match. And it did kind of remind me of Angela Hill, just not like full on style wise, but the way she was moving around. I was like, yeah, she's working, like she's landing shots, but at the same time, I was like, watch the judges not give her the fight though. It looks good to us, but I was like, watch the judges not give this fight to Verna. Yeah, I had it 2 rounds to 1 though, man. She won the fight easy. Yeah, so back over here, let's see. Cypher is going to get fed to Baez, Pinheiro, DePaula, and then get her walking papers. I thought she already had her walking papers, though. I'm not sure. Colton, how far can Amanda Ribas go? Ribas can go as far as she wants right now. I think if she gets past Marina Rodriguez in dominant fashion, I want to see Ribas in there with either Claudia or Jan. If she beats Claudia or Jan and maybe fights Joanna like a comeback fight, then I'll say, yo, she's ready. Maybe 2 more fights and Ribas might be ready. I think like her only roadblock, her real roadblock is gonna be Joanna. I think that's gonna be Ribas's real roadblock is Joanna from getting to that championship belt. Yeah, I don't know, Gary. I thought she was gone. I thought she was gone now. I guess not. So you want to see her put to sleep too? God, oh man. I'm with you. She dodged 2 bullets already for not having Rodriguez and Grasso punch her way in the sausage meat the way they were supposed to. I'm so annoyed about that even now. Carla beat Claudia. Carla's ducking and I'm not a fan. Cite my source, cite my round by round analysis. I mean, on paper she won, but in a lot of people's eyes she lost. Same as it was similar to the beating that Angela Hill gave Claudia. Similar to that type of beating. Ernest Richardson said Grasso had Esparza on the ropes and would have whooped Claudia in front of millions, but alas. Robert Henry Verna both have to finish fights, but for 2 separate reasons, both based on appearance. Yeah, Angela Hill and Verna, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Angela Hill and Verna, they kind of in similar situations. They're not really going to win a fight on the cards when it comes to the look that the UFC wants to push. Is Poliana Viana and Boteo I got cut? Nah. I told you they weren't gonna cut that many women. I mean, the other day I was looking at the list and they cut like Rachel was like the only woman on the list, and there was like 15 men on there, which they're still not even done. So it'll probably come out to being like maybe 5 or 6 women that get cut. But when you look at the men, getting cut, it's going to be a lot of men because there's a lot of dead weight in there. Cole says Cyphers has tons of tough fights and she's an exciting fighter. I hope they keep her. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's hard to see a fighter be an exciting fighter and stay in the UFC if you're always on the losing end. You know, I don't want to see a fighter get beat up all the time. Carla ain't trying to fight. Carla keep posting she was the first champion. That was years ago. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie about that, man. She was the first champion, but she didn't even hold that belt, man. Like, she lost in her first title defense, and I can't stand when a fighter does that. Like, you know, she did lose that belt bad in the first title defense, man. I think Pinheiro could give Claudia and Carla issues. Very, very good at busting through opponents' guards on the ground. I think she would give Claudia more issues than Carla because I think Carla would close that distance early. I think Carla's starting to make more adjustments. You know, I think Carla makes more adjustments to strikers, and she knows how to go in there and close that distance and use her wrestling. Claudia, man, she looks clueless sometimes when she's dealing with the striker. You know, she doesn't know how to time or jab back. You know, she doesn't know how to close the distance sometimes. Like, she just seems lost in there, especially as of lately. Gary said judges also said Jan was better than Claudia or beat Claudia. They were right on that one. They were 100% right on that one. Jan did. Cedric said, nah, I was just saying I like Bateo and I think they should cut Felice and Carla. Oh, man, they ain't gonna cut Carla, man. You know, she don't need to be cut. Come on, y'all gotta chill out on Carla, you know. I mean, she has faced a lot of fighters, so I can't get mad at her like that, man. And I'm not gonna call her a coward either. The judges gave that the Jan were paid for. Okay. Carla and the Panic Wrestling Sickers. Damn, man, y'all are wrong, man. Panic Wrestling, that Panic Wrestling work. I mean, whatever y'all want to call it, man. Coach said injuries no joke in MMA. Oh, man, not. I mean, the parts of your, you know, there's certain parts of your body in there you'd be like, man, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's different than boxing. It's different than boxing. Y'all are getting called it a night. I mean, I'm not going to go in and defend like that. I mean, what she's doing is, I'm not going to lie, some of the things she's doing right now is setting herself up for this conversation right now. But, I mean, I'm not going to call her a coward because I've never been in the octagon and I've never wrestled or I've never panicked before. I never panic wrestled before, so I'm not gonna touch that one. I mean, if she doesn't take this Rebos fight in 2021, or if she doesn't take the Joanna fight in 2021, then, you know, the tone might change a little bit. Angel Garcia in here. Angel Garcia. Carla's still game, but I don't like her. Yeah, just say that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have any, like, I'm not like this Carla fanboy, nothing like that. I don't have any dislike for her, you know. But yeah, at least say that. You know, she's still game. She's still going to whoop one of your favorite fighters in the strawweight division, or give him a tough fight if that. Unless your name is Joanna, you know, I'm just being honest. Like, Joanna, you know, that's just another level for Carla. I think that's a style nightmare for her. That is a style nightmare for her. Oh boy, yeah, because Carla, she's fought some of the best fighters out there, though. I mean, But right. See, yeah, Colton, you get it. I don't see her as a coward. Yeah, her character, her personality. I'm not talking about that stuff. I mean, her inability to fight has yet to be explained. That plus her opponents throwing away wins and giving her this undeserved streak saddens me. Her opponents throwing away wins. She's taking it. Grasso, what does she need to work on? Grasso needs to work on finishing her opponents. She needs to work on her killer instinct. I think sometimes she'll like let up. You know, whenever she's got a sequence going, when she has a sequence of punches going and it's time to go down, you know, she sometimes pulls out of the situation. I think she just needs to be more, that ferocity needs to be there with her, man, because got to move her head a little bit more too. Like, I'd say some things about her defense. Yeah, some things about her defense. Gary said Claudia doesn't even panic wrestle when she doesn't do anything. Yeah, like, hey, at least if one thing ain't working, you're gonna try to do something or go down with the ship sinking. But I mean, Claudia, when she gas, she don't do anything. Like, Claudia does not do anything except wait for that judge to, you know, those two judges to give her the fight. Marcus said Carla's cookie privilege need to be removed. Marcus, come on, man. how she didn't even have but one fight. Felice still ranked. Is Felice still ranked? I thought she was up out of there. Let's see. UFC strawweight rankings. Let's see these strawweight rankings here. Let's see here. Yeah, Grasso needs to start punching these girls in their throats and then get them out of there. Right. Got to have that killer instinct in there. I mean, like, sometimes she'll like pop off a few shots and kind of admire her work. Step to the side, pop off a few more, admire her work. And she's got some nice shots too. So I'm like, if she committed more to them, she would be knocking some people out or doing major damage. Yeah, Felice is still somehow ranked number 14. Felice is still ranked number 14. She's got to go. I think she's about to go. I think she's about to go pretty soon. Yeah, I think she'll be gone pretty soon. Felice. Maybe they just haven't updated. Maybe they just haven't officially taken her out. Maybe she hasn't officially said I'm out for a while. For the time being. Let's see. Claudia needs to go holler at Greg Hardy for his inhaler. Dang. See now Claudia's getting it just as good as Carla is in here. Will Claudia beat Whaley? Yeah, don't even ask me that question. Point that towards him, Gary, because he know my answer. I don't even answer crazy questions like that. All right, so I would have did this earlier, like the first half, but let me see here. checking something here. Yeah, the rankings continue to not make sense, man. Like I don't understand them sometimes. Like when a fighter lost the way they lost, boom, they need to go. I think I don't know. I think Carla would fight. I think Carla would fight Wei Lee before she fights Amanda Ribas because it's all about the whole what am I more if there's more risk she wants more reward, but see Ribas is less reward, more risk less reward. So I think that Carla would take the chance to fight Wei Lee because it's a title shot and it's more money, but fighting Ribas might mess that chance up. That's why she might or wouldn't want to take that fight. Colton Andrea Lee would have beat Jillian. I wish that fight would have been on this card. I don't know about that. I think it would be a competitive fight, but I think Jillian might get it if she could get past Lee's jab, which is that's tough, man. That's tough. Yeah, she take it. Yeah, I mean, that just means she ain't meant to get the chance to. Yeah, yeah. Like every move she making right now is just to either get that one last title shot, make sure it's calculated. So if she doesn't fight Ribas and she fights Wei Lee, then we know what her move was. It becomes chess after a while, y'all. It becomes chess. Like some people, when they feel like they put in the work and they got their names on the resume, they can skip certain fights. It's just a part of the game. I know y'all might not agree with that, but that's a part of the game sometimes. I mean, in no way is she a Manny Pacquiao, but like a Manny Pacquiao, he doesn't have to fight at the bottom anymore. He can fight whoever he wants. When you put in work in a division like that for so long, they can say, okay, I want this fight. I want this fight. I want the easy fight to get me the title shot. That's going to happen. But anyways, I think that Amanda Ribas has solid competition right now in front of her. I think she has a very tough fight in Marina Rodriguez, and this might be a much more exciting fight. This is going to be I think it's going to be a fight that doesn't go the distance, and it's more so evenly matched to me. Colton. I know Chikagan already beat Lauren Murphy at 135. I think she'd had the skill to do it again, but you never know. You never know, man. Like you never know what Lauren Murphy learned from the last fight. Since Chikagan has that momentum, though, man, like she's got this crazy momentum, just pulling off the upset. When I pick against her, she always wins. So it's one of those situations with her. Like she always has that weird style that fighters just can't figure out, man. So I would lean more towards Caitlin Chikagan if they were to fight again in a rematch. Claudia gasses before her opponent, even when she's on top of him. Yeah, it's fake news. It's fake news because it's really facts. It's facts now. it's well known now. I don't know who it is. I don't know who it's going to be though. Who's going to dish Lauren Murphy that beat down? Who's going to issue that beat down to Lauren Murphy? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Stamina. Like only legit person that could beat her down, and even then I don't know if it would be a straight beat down, is Andrade. Nobody else in that division really has the skill set or physicality to handle Lauren Murphy. Yeah, she's tough as old boots, man. Like, y'all got to give her credit there. Like, I don't know who this person is that's coming that's going to issue her this beat down. Even Andrade, like, might not have complete success issuing out the beat down. Caitlyn will probably just win a points victory, but she's not going to beat Lauren Murphy down. Caitlyn is just going to use her footwork same as last time, right? Yeah, she's not going to beat her down. She would just out footwork her. She would just outwork her on her feet. Just outstep her. Claudia's powered by jalopy, huh? Lauren versus Andrade. Let's do this. I mean, yeah, really. I mean, they were the only two without dance partners right now. That I was talking about in the flyweight division. They're the only two right now that need somebody. So I say make it happen. Winner fights Valentina. Robert said Chikagan dissed Murphy after her fight with Calvillo. She treats it like a walk in the park. Gary Baller said Claudia is powered by one AAA battery. Okay, Danielle H in the house. What's going on, Danielle H? So yeah, strawweight division, always got some interesting fights though, man. That's what I'm saying. Like this past weekend, it wasn't like a bust. I mean, Sam Hughes was just outgunned, outworked by a much bigger, much more talented, experienced fighter. Much more powerful. The girl Tisha's tiny, but yeah, she is a tornado. She lives by that. She's a tornado. She'll go in there and just put the whirlwind on you. But Verna and McKenzie, that was a good fight. But the judges, they just know how to piss you off, man. They just know how to take away from a good fight by awarding the wrong person the victory. But if you look at it, like I always say, fighters like Dern, fighters like Mackenzie Dern, they're gonna do less, but they'll still get the victory. Verna, she's gonna have to go in there and work harder. Colton said, is there a prospect at 125 that can rise up the ranks and compete with Murphy, Calvillo, Chikagan, Macy Barber? Maybe. Damn, that's asking a lot right there. I think there's going to be some contenders that no. There's going to be some prospects that could handle Macy. But it all depends on how they look beating the Macy before they can graduate to like a Calvillo or a Murphy. But Chikagan, man, like I know a lot of people don't disagree with me, but Chikagan, man, she like in a class of her own. Like you could beat everybody else, but she'll come in there and just like pull off the upset with her awkward style. You know what I mean? Like, so many fighters they'll come in on like a winning streak, but then they deal with Caitlyn Chikagan, boom, they can't beat her, man, because she's just so different. Coach said thanks to Robert Henry, we got off topic yesterday. Yeah, I just thought of that too whenever Colton mentioned Macy Barber, coach. Y'all were wrong. No, Robert Henry was wrong. Who started it? Who started it though? That's what it come down to. Who started it about Macy? Who kept going in on Macy? That's what I want to know. Colton said Miranda Maverick. Yeah, I mean, I see Miranda giving Macy a tough fight, possibly beating her, but when you start to get into that realm of the top 5 and top 6, I got to see what you look like against these. I got to see what you look like against the top 10 through 15. If you blasting out 10 through 15 and you get up in there, you beat them comfortably, then we can talk 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and so on, But yeah, I think Miranda, on that level of beating like a 15 through 11 or 15 through 10, I think she'll be a promising prospect here. Stamina said people love to write off fighters as done, bums, washed up. Fans of his sport seem to revel in sport. I don't use that word, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, we can tell when a fighter is done. Like, there's a difference between saying done and a bum to me. I think it's obvious when a fighter is done and, they keep taking punishment. Then you got to say, hey, man, you done. You got to say you done. Whenever you have a fighter that just continues to take beatings, guys like Amir Khan that get knocked out constantly. Shoot, the way Tony Ferguson looked the other night, man, I was like, wow. Alistair Overeem, Hannah Cyphers, fighters like that to me. Well, Hannah Cyphers hasn't really gotten, she got finished a few times, but she wasn't really like taking some 3-round dominating beatings, So I don't know. I wouldn't say her, but yeah, done is kind of different than bum to me. When you call somebody a bum, then you just somebody that's disrespecting the fighter. But yeah, big difference in done. Like, I'll say done all day because I don't want to see a person get hurt. Stammer said, I'm not a believer in Maverick quite yet. I'm watching. I'm open-minded, but I have not seen anything to make me speak her name just yet. Yeah, I only had one fight. I mean, I've seen her fights in Invicta. So, I'm judging it off of that, what she can do against the top 10 through 15 here. And, she just beat an unranked opponent. But moving forward from here, I like her chances against the top 10 through the 15, Like, I like her chances against Montana. I like her chances against Jillian Robertson, Andrea Lee. I like Maverick's chances against those fighters. Nothing solid, sealed. Nobody's saying she a top 10 killer yet, but she'll make noise in the top 10 if she can dominate 10 through 15, off of what I seen. Robert said, thanks to coach's ongoing memory loss, we ended up on Aspen Ladd and got off track last night. I don't even remember what we were talking about last night, for real. I really don't. Coach was just going in on like geometry lessons over there, man. Like, he had us out of it. He was trying to play Tetris last night, man. He had us gone, boy. So I don't even remember. Coach was on that Tetris, boy. So Danielle said, I'm on. Been busy wrapping up this semester. Just moved back to Arizona. I got to get on after Weili beats Rose. Rose will outstrike Weili. Might even submit her. Dang. I could see her outstriking her. got a tough time seeing her getting her to the ground though. I got to I kind of see it a tough time of getting Wei Li to the ground. I feel like Wei Li, man, is just so strong. I think that Wei Li, she just got this dog in her that Rose will have to play chess and outstrike her from the outside. Yeah, Gary. Rose, she hasn't submitted anybody on Wei Li's level, but she has knocked somebody out on that level. So that's where I'm kind of more banking on is her landing some good shots. Robert said went from the shape of aspect lad to how to be a player. Yeah, I missed that how to be a player part. I was busy last night. Like I went off. I had went off and left my phone because I was busy. But yeah, we was on geometry, and then we just went in on some other stuff. I know somebody tried to say in the chat that, well, I always say Megan Anderson looks good, and somebody in the chat said she didn't look good. That kind of threw me off. I was like, huh? Well, it's to each his own, so whatever. Um, cool, crazy. Rose does not have the disciplines to stay on the outside. Well, that's something she's gonna have to work on, man. That's something she's got to work on for this fight because she's gonna need the discipline to stay on the outside. And like clockwork, once again, somebody hits dislike. I always wonder, like I said, I think I know who it is, but every time I just see that one dislike pop up at a certain time, I'm like, here it goes. Mm-mm-mm. Your discipline for 5 rounds, man, it's gonna be hard, yo. Coach said I feel like Rose does have the discipline to stay on the outside out of anyone. I mean, that's her game, that's her thing, but she even let up in the first Jessica Andrade fight. Like she just let up on that. She like Jessica Andrade was an easy fight from the outside. Beautiful, beautiful footwork from Rose. I love watching her throw hands and her movement. But like she let Jessica Andrade on the inside. She lost focus. Robert Henry, I noticed that one dislike too, man, right on time. Yeah, I've been noticing it every stream just about. I've been noticing every stream like how many people go to a video and just dislike it and you don't even know what it's about or you don't even watch it. Like that's a waste of my time. I don't even really dislike videos at all. Like if I know I don't like a video or it's not my taste, I just don't watch it. Like if I'm not into this type of music, I'm not gonna waste my time and thumbs down a video. Like I'm just not gonna click on it. And I think that's the best way you can do. If you don't like something, just stay away from it. I don't take the time out to go on somebody's video and hit dislike. So Tisha, Andrade, and Carolina has entered Rose's range. Oh yeah, definitely. Tisha Torres was the first person to beat Rose, if I remember correctly, back in Invicta. I remember watching that fight. But that was like early Rose. That was like 6 years. Yeah, 6 or 7 or 8 years ago. The second fight was a lot. It was closer, but Rose won. But still, Tisha was able to get in there. Danielle H said, I think she has the discipline when the pressure is real, but in a 5-round fight, I don't think she'll be durable enough. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, like her durability in a fight, like her ability to withstand punishment here and there, being dogged out, being mauled, being somebody grinds your face or grinds your body on the fence for 5 rounds, or maybe even like 3 rounds of 5 rounds. Like I'm kind of worried about Rose in that case. Like so many of her fights have been chess matches. She's been hit with good shots against Carolina. If y'all remember the Carolina fight, Carolina had some good timing in that fight, caught Rose with some good body shots here and there, hurt her a few times. So I'm kind of like worried about the body kicks of Wei Li in this fight. You know, she's really going to have to amp up for this one. And if you're not going to make it a dog fight, you got to be disciplined for 5 rounds. You know, you got to be on the outside. If you're not built for the dog fight, you got to make it a chess match. Stamina said, apparently for algorithmic reasons, dislikes and likes are treated equally. And that way their interactions, the content elicited a reaction from someone either way. Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah, like that's why a lot of people always say dislike or like the video, because it's going to put it out there somehow. Which I don't mind. I just find that strange, you know. Cole said, I think Tatiana Suarez would have an easier time with Wei Li than if she had to go against Joanna. Yeah, that would be interesting, because I think the ground would be a little bit more even there, you know, whereas Joanna is going to be committed to outside work, and Tatiana Suarez, her striking is not up to par against a fighter like Joanna, where, you know, Suarez can dogfight with Wei Li. You know, they're going to go straight at it. There's going to be moments where Wei Li throws from the outside, but when they close that distance, it's going to be a rough fight. Rough, closer fight. Whenever you're talking Joanna's going to just pop you with the jab. She's going to scramble if you try to take her down. She's going to scramble back up. She's going to hit you with those front kicks to the face. Great punch output, you know, 1-2 leg kick. 1-2 leg kick, right hand. Joanna has some really good fights, man. I gotta say that. Joanna has a lot of good fights. I enjoy watching her fights. Let's see. Robert Henry, the dislike was created for people addicted to trauma. People see it and really say something, and the person made the video. Other than that, someone hit the button. So Danielle H. Wei Li throws good leg kicks too. Slow Rose down, systematically beat her. Yeah, she throws good leg kicks, yeah, and good midsection kicks. Like her body kicks are good. I don't know, man. Big area. Wei Li beats down Suarez. That's tough, man. I can't say that. I gotta ride with Suarez. I've been riding with her since day one, just about. As of right now, you know, if I look at them and just take my time to really measure it out, and, you know, like I usually do, like break stuff down. But, you know, I've been a fan of Tatiana too, so if we get roughly the same Tatiana we got versus Nina, then Joanna can drown her in volume like Tat has never seen. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, the Nina fight with Tatiana, a lot of people, they felt like that fight was going to be like Tatiana just ragdolling Nina and dominating, but Nina was shutting a lot of those takedowns down, man. She had a lot of strength in that fight. Nina was in there making it a tough fight. But yeah, Joanna, boy, like, yeah, she'll drown you in volume, man. Like, something about her punches like amaze me, because they don't knock you out, but they just like rattle you. They rattle you and don't make you want to come on the inside. Like the way she's just like knocking people back, like there was a few times when Wei Li would eat those like straight right hands, or like whenever Joanna switched to southpaw in like the third or fourth round of that Wei Li fight, and she just started like stuffing left hands down Wei Li's face in that round. Like it just really made her give her respect. I was like, wow, like they're not knockout power shots, but they're like brain rattling. Gary said Nina gave her too much trouble for my liking. Yeah, she gave her some trouble, but she gave her a lot of trouble in that fight. TJ said Tatiana is very reliant on being able to outmuscle people versus Wei Li not working. It's gonna come crashing together, but it's gonna be an explosion when them two fight. I think it'll be whoever can outlast who. Let me see. Tatiana does look like a 125 or sometime, man. Let me see. Let's look at this size here. Height. I think Tatiana's what, 5'6"? I'm just guessing. Hold on. Oh, she's 5'5". Okay. Tatiana was 5'5". 5'4", about the same height, 1 inch difference. But you know, Wei Li is wide. You know, she got them wide shoulders. Yeah, that would be an interesting fight, though. I'd like to see that, man. Like, if Tatiana can get right, if she can get back into shape, get everything, you know, everything back in order physically, I would love that fight. Outmuscle is a little reductive, TJ. She did her best work versus smaller girls, but she's also never faced an athletically superior opponent quite yet. So let's see. Yeah, man, we still that's what sucked. Like right whenever she got to this Nina Azarov fight, the injury came along, and we never got to see her in there with some you know, with some more styles, man. Like I wanted to see Suarez Calvillo, Suarez Andrade, Suarez Joanna. Of course, not all three of those fights back to back before she gets a title shot, but I wanted to see like at least 2 of those, 1 or 2 of those before she got the title shot. What do you think of Jan's chances at strawweight? I think her chances right now, as far as the level she's on, like she could give some tough fights, but I need to see more improvement from Jan. I need to see more power. You know, I need to see a little bit more defense too. Like, I don't know. Jan said she wanted to fight for the title yet. I don't think she's ready. Yeah, I just don't think she's ready for that fight. Like she wants to fight the winner of Rose versus Wei Li, but in the meantime, she needs to go in there and make a statement against a Joanna. Like Jan just kind of popped up, you know, down from the bottom and came up pretty quick because, you know, I feel like she just kind of got pushed up there whenever I think another fighter pulled out of a fight, and she got pushed up to face somebody. I can't remember who it was, unless I'm thinking of somebody else. And she pushed up to number 3, man. I thought that was crazy. Cause yeah, you know, she did good against Claudia. She did good against Claudia in that fight, but I want to see Jan in there with somebody like Joanna. Got to beat an elite fighter. Like I see her holding her spot down, but I don't know about winning the title shot. I don't know about winning the title. Excuse me. Yeah, I think Tatiana is coming back. She's been on IG getting into shape. She's been on IG getting into shape and trying to get back into, I guess, physical shape, and eventually going to go back into fighting shape and try to get a fight back into the, get somebody in the top 10. Number 4, Claudia. Claudia's number 6. Colton said he doesn't consider Claudia an elite fighter. Who doesn't consider Claudia an elite fighter? She used to be. If we talk about before, Claudia used to be. I remember there was a time when the elites were Joanna, Andrade, Claudia, and Carolina. I remember they were elites, like they used to be. Those 4 when they were at the top. But then Carolina just got destroyed by Andrade and submitted by Claudia, and she was gone. And then Claudia, she just started losing and getting these gift decisions and just not improving. And she's out of the top 5, Yeah, Claudia's not, an elite fighter. Like, Tatiana Suarez could take her for a comeback fight to get back in the rankings, in my opinion. That would be a good fight for Tatiana to get back in there. If she wants to get back into the rankings as a comeback fight, that's the fight they need to make happen. Tatiana and Claudia. Use that as her comeback fight. Or go ahead and put Mackenzie Dern in there with Claudia. Any of those fights would be interesting style matchup. I think Verna Jandiroba might outstrike Claudia. I don't know if y'all what y'all think. I think on Verna, man, she might put hands on Claudia. Number 4 before the Yawn fight. Number 4 before the Yawn fight. Yeah, before. Doesn't matter anymore though. Before is before. Gary said Claudia beats Tatiana. Unpopular opinion. Yeah, it is unpopular. Claudia arguably won one of those, I forget which, but that was a long ass time ago, and a lot of that happened since then. Let's look at Claudia's record, because it's just been some. Carolina, I remember that fight. That was the last impressive fight I remember from Claudia Stamina, if I remember correctly. Carolina was probably the most impressive win. Let's see. Yeah, Stamina. Claudia, her last real win to me was the submission win in the first round against Carolina, because after she beat Carolina, she lost to Jessica Andrade, won a close decision to Carla on paper, lost to Nina Ansaroff, beat Randa Marcos, and it wasn't really a exciting fight. Again, got a gift decision against Angela Hill, and then lost to Yan. So yeah, over the past 3 years, her last solid victory that stood for something was a Carolina submission. Yeah, 3 years ago. Colt said, I want to see Dern against Claudia. Yeah, I like that matchup. Either that or Tisha Torres. Tisha Torres and Mackenzie Dern. Either of those fights I want to see. If Claudia fights Suarez, only two things can happen. Either Suarez puts Claudia to sleep, or Claudia's lazy and tired, falls asleep. Yeah, I see Suarez winning that fight. Honestly, I see Suarez winning that fight. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I think. I think Tisha Torres would give Mackenzie Dern trouble. I mean, her speed. I think her speed and that offense that she's coming with right now, I think it would really give her trouble, man. I think that speed of Torres and the body kicks would probably do something. Yeah, it really wouldn't do much for Tisha, but it would do more for Dern. And that's why I see that fight happening, because Dern is number 11. And Tisha is number... Wow, that's crazy. Tisha won a fight and she dropped the ranking. She used to be number 9. So, yeah, I think if Dern and Tisha fought, that would have been a good fight to break in the top 10 for Dern. So... yeah, it doesn't do much for Tisha. It does more for Dern. And it depends on who they want to push more. Okay, so yeah, y'all. That's pretty much everything I was talking about today. Just seeing what y'all wanted to talk about in the chat. Y'all had some interesting stuff to talk about. Some good fights that just need to be made next year. So many good fights that could be happening. I just hope there's no more cancellations, man. I mean, I know that's asking for too much. I don't even want one cancellation in January. But we know that ain't gonna happen. New York rankings are going to drop tomorrow. Maybe things will change. Yeah. Okay. They're trying to use Tisha as a stepping stone. Yes, sir. Robert Henry in the house as always. So. I could see them doing that. Yeah, peace out, Rob. Peace out. See you tomorrow night or something. Yeah, I thought I posted the interview I might get back on. Because the interview ain't live, I'm gonna just post it up. It was already recorded. They were until she shut out BBB. That's definitely what thinking. Bash trick is Hill. Yeah. Yeah, Sarge, man. Yeah, Sarge and Panty, I forgot. Yeah, that fight's happening the 19th. You know I'm looking forward to Jillian versus Taylor. Look, shout out to Jillian. You know I like Jillian Robertson, man, but you know Taylor is on the real. Taylor is on the real. Taylor Santos is the real deal. Got to go in there and make a statement against him. Josette Cotton, Robert. Yeah, I just posted up there earlier. I posted tomorrow. Josette Cotton. Yeah. Yeah, Colton. The fight is this Saturday. Jillian and Taylor is this Saturday, and on the prelims is Sarge and Panny. Oh shit! That prelims card is huge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess they know a fight's gonna get canceled on there, so that's why I probably scheduled like 8. Damn, prelims next Saturday is huge, man. 8 plus what the main event? 3, 6, 15 fights. Ain't no way all 15 fights are gonna take place. I'm not trying to jinx anything, but yeah, the card next week, 15 fights is not gonna happen. I'm hungry, man. My stomach's over here making. Stomach's talking, it's growling. Damn, Gary, you said you hate Jillian? Why, man? Why you hate Jillian so much, man? I don't hate her. I like her. You know, she's all right. I just think that Taylor's got some, you know, tools for her. I think she just has quite a bit to use on her. Yeah, we don't hate her. We just want good things for Taylor. Yeah. You know, Taylor's been working. Taylor's been working, man. People just don't give her credit enough. You know, I think Taylor's solid fighter, very physically strong. You know, she just has a lot of tools, to use against somebody, against a fighter like Jillian Robertson, who still has to grow in the striking department. Cole said, "Where's BJ the defender?" Man. Oh, don't worry. We'll get on here. Matter of fact, we'll get on here and do a pre-fight show for that one tomorrow. I might have to link up with BJ so we can talk. Open link show tomorrow, I guess. Yeah. After I post my interview, we'll do an open link show tomorrow. So anybody want to come on, you know, give their thoughts about the fights, we'll talk about it tomorrow. So, you know, I'll do my intro and do whatever discussion. Second half, you know, we could talk open link. So yeah, tomorrow you get ready for that, Stamina, if you come through. Anybody else want to come through, Robert? TJ, anybody else want to come on? Yeah, I don't hate any of these fighters, man. I appreciate a little bit of everything they bring to the game, man. Like, So yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk the flyweight fight for this Saturday. We'll talk Sarge versus Panny tomorrow. I'll give y'all my thoughts and then open up the links, open up the lines or whatever, and we can talk. So yeah, y'all be prepared for that tomorrow if y'all want to do that. All right, peace out, Robert. And I'm about to get up out of here myself. I appreciate everybody coming through. Everybody in the chat. Stamina, Robert, Marcus, Gary, Danielle, TJ. Anybody else I forgot? Cedric C. Shout out Cedric C. I heard him last night going to the coach's channel. That's cool, come on out. If you still in there, Cedric, yeah, if you want to come on, man, I'll drop you a link. If you want to, give me your thoughts on the fights coming up Saturday, let me know. But yeah, y'all, I'm about to get up out of here. I got to go get some food in me here. I've been on a fast all day, just about 13-hour, 14-hour fast, I think. Yeah. Nothing but water. But yeah, just make sure y'all subscribe, like it on the way out. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow around the same time. Have a good night and peace.